Today I am going to be, oh, wait a second. That is the wrong screen. Good one. That's some research that I've got to do. But where's my window with my chart? Where's the window with my chart? Let's just make a new one, I guess. Ah, there are my charts. Okay. Yay. Today we are going to go through the charts just because guess what happened last night? Bitcoin went over $100,000.
Whoa, way goes.
Yep. So hang on tight. Make sure that you've got everything you need to ride this because yeah, this is gonna be an insane ride. Dun 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 dun. Gonna look at the daily chart here and we're gonna go back into the 2-hour chart just because. Okay. Cool. Live
Okay,
and running. Thank
think
you, everybody.
we have to mute Paul.
You can, yeah, let's go ahead and I'll meet you guys out and then we'll get this show on the road. All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you could just go ahead and comment, let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you have any help or if you have any questions as we're going through this, feel free to comment both on X and on YouTube. When you comment, I see it inside my live dashboard here. So I can address your questions right away. And if at any time you feel like you need some help getting this started, getting this going, definitely feel free to private message me, or also you can go to my website. And thank you very much, Audrey, for letting me know that one of my links on my Connect page was broken. And so that's been fixed. You can book my time there. And feel free, get a free half an hour with me, and I will help you position yourself to take advantage of the opportunities that we are as pioneers of the fourth industrial revolution. So let's get this show on the road. Silver, finding that resistance. Look at that. In the past, we've seen it be around this area a lot. I mean, just take a look at how often there, right there, bouncing off of there to make this big run there. Remember when like things were looking so bad there before the election? So everybody was like, well, I gotta get my silver. But that was the support. And it's come back and now holding underneath. And we'll see what happens here. If it does break out above, we may go ahead and retest this line. And that would probably line up with this point of resistance in this area here. So if it's going to come up, bounce off of that, that would fall in line with that resistance, and then we would likely continue our way down. Again, it could very well just drop right here. Doesn't really matter. We're just watching this because we want to see where our entry point is for when this bubble is done. Folks, that's the biggest thing. Most people are going to go into this bubble, and most people, 98% of them are going to lose everything. And the reason why is because they don't have an exit strategy. I don't care how much money you want to make in this bubble. Some people are just happy to get 100% return, where they just are going to double their money. Some people are not going to be happy unless they 20x their return. It doesn't matter what your goal is. If you don't have an exit strategy for the others, like before that bubble pops, you're going to lose it all. So the reason why we watch the gold and silver is because after the bubble is over, my exit strategy is to convert my assets, all of my crypto assets, into gold-backed assets. And that's where we get into the real world assets, that side of things with the bubble. So gold. This one is really consolidating. We actually had a lot more movement within gold than we did with silver. And we can see how many pivot points were just blown through with all of this movement here. This consolidation, this is a sign of a little bit of insecurity. Why? Because yesterday, even though up until the election, Powell couldn't talk more highly about the economy, how awesome it was. Everything's fine, he said. And of course, they all said the same thing back before 2008. I remember throughout 2008, just as I was starting to learn about the markets and what's going on in the world financially and the digital currencies and digital IDs and all that stuff. 2008, they kept on saying, "Oh yeah, everything's going to be fine. You don't have to worry about the economy. Everything's going to be all right." Well, then all of a sudden terrible things happened. All in a day. Well, yesterday they said the debt is absolutely unsustainable. And where do I get that information? Well, I follow Unusual Whales on X. Fantastic account for getting quick updates on what's going on in the financial markets, and especially finding out, okay, who are the big players and what are they buying. In fact, for a while there, their marketing campaign was get to know what Pelosi invests in, because that's what they do. They show the books, who's buying what. And so it helps us identify insider trading and stuff like that. Well, whenever we can identify insider trading occurring, that presents opportunities for us to follow the smart money. And of course, inside trading only gets caught if it's it's somebody that is on the wrong side of the banking system. So anyway, back to gold. This consolidation is happening because there was less and less security about what's going on. Now, if we take a look, even though the announcement was made and the debt is unsustainable, we can never get away from it. Even though they said that this is not going to go anywhere, this is terrible, the dollar is going to go down because the debt is unsustainable. Look at gold, didn't even budge. It literally stayed consolidating. What does that mean? That the announcement wasn't enough to get people's faith to vacate fiat. That's how much power the prospect of Trump being in power is having on the market right now. Amazing. US 30, button up against that all-time high, not creating a new one yet, but that's okay. It's, again, we're just seeing that consolidation. I think we're in that kind of flux, right? Trump's not president yet. What's going to happen? Now there's threats from the deep state, threats that the things aren't going to go well in January, right? Even Yuval Harari, that great consultant for the Great Reset for the World Economic Forum, he was saying that if Trump gets elected, the globalist regime will likely fall. And we can't let that happen. And so they are suggesting that there's going to be violence. And that insecurity is what's holding things back. Again, that's what I believe is going on. The insecurity is what's making things consolidate right now. However, in the TSX, Toronto Stock Exchange, a new high was created. At the same time that this is occurring, folks, I want you to know that there's something happening in Canada. Last night I was on a conference call, and I found out that there could very well be a snap election already announced. I haven't checked the news yet today, but that there were rumors going around. And when asked, one of the MPs, I can't remember who it was, but one of the MPs were asked, if they thought that, or what they thought would be the result of this deliberation in Parliament. Right now, things are in a gridlock. They're not allowed to make any calls. They're not allowed to make any votes or nothing on anything. Everything's basically on pause in Parliament because the possibility of a vote of no confidence is on the table and will be decided this morning. And when that MP was asked what he thought was going on, he answered with like a non-answer. And then the journalist asked, sounds to me like you already know what the outcome of tomorrow's vote is. And he was again silent. So the suspicion on that call was that there will be a snap election called, and the Trudeau government will likely be told to step down very soon because of the snap election that will be incumbent of this of this of this vote that today. Anyway, long story short, some of the insecurity that we're going to be seeing in the Canadian markets may be due to the political insecurity that's occurring. Now, of course, the way that the call was sounding, sounded like a lot more encouraging than it actually was. They were saying like, "Oh, if this goes through, that could dissolve Parliament." And of course, I'm growing my beard until Parliament dissolves. But that not that kind of dissolve. By dissolve, they mean the majority government that currently resides as the majority government. And then we got the official opposition. They're saying that's going to all dissolve and be reorganized. Not the kind of dissolve that we actually need, but certainly it's going to be pushing people towards voting conservative, which is the idea. Again, we have to kind of go back a little bit to the way this plan is working out. In order for the companies that have been investing in AI up to this point, this is about the AI bubble right now. AI bubble, digital ID. Just think of those two things being very important right now. Trump, if there was somebody that the deep state wanted in that position known as president, if the deep state wanted somebody that would have been better to compete with Trump, they would have found somebody to run against him in the election that could form and complete sentences. So because they didn't find anybody to compete with, there wasn't even a debate. Remember? There wasn't even a debate because everybody knew that Kamala Harris would be absolutely destroyed and mopped and have the floor mopped with her hair by Trump. That's how we knew that was going to happen. So there was not even a debate. And that communicates clearly that the deep state wanted Trump to go into power. Because, again, if they wanted somebody else, somebody would have been like, look at how many people. I think there was a number, there's 170 million people in America that are eligible to be the president of the United States. They're eligible. I can guarantee you that out of the 170 million people that could run, one of them would have been better than Kamala. For sure. But they didn't want someone better than Kamala running against Trump because they needed the landslide. They needed the people to vote conservatively so that they could take in the next set, so that they would be more accepting of the next set of agendas. And the big agenda right now is to save Silicon Valley because of how much of an important sector that is now to the U.S. economy. So Trump is the best one to do that. He's the one to make sure that these deals are good and everybody's making their money. And even Mark Zuckerberg went to go meet up with Trump and say that he wants to be on board with his administration and help. Come on, folks. If that doesn't look like deep state operations, I don't know what does. But so this operation is all about making sure that the big tech companies get their money back. Remember last week I was talking about those two figures? There's $4.4 billion. That's how much money ChatGPT lost in Q3 of 2024. $4.4 billion in one quarter, lost, gone, never to be seen again. And yet, even with that deficit, all of these tech companies are coming forward saying that they're going to invest this is the second big number, another $250 billion in Q1 of 2025. So they have no intention of stopping because they need that money back. And so they're going to be pumping AI. And I'm going to give you a great example. Lots of startups right now are really working hard at helping AI help people in work. And one of the big things that occurs is people don't like to go on meetings. They don't like meetings. Nobody likes to go on meetings because you got to look good on the camera and everything else. And so people try to miss out on their meetings. But with AI, they can show up for the meeting because the AI will just go and talk for them and everything. Well, they are overselling what AI is capable. We're not even close to that. We are not even close to having an AI and attend a meeting for you. But the people are being sold that that's what's occurring. At the start of this bubble, we're already seeing these startups show up, and people are pouring millions of dollars into these startups so that they can have this wonderful utopia of never having to show up for a meeting again because AI will just do it for them. I shit you not. That's the mentality that people have about AI right now. And that is what the big tech companies are banking on, literally, with $250 billion. They have no intention of investing $250 billion in a lost product, a product that's not able to accomplish what it has promised being able to do. They have no intention of doing that. They have every intention of telling the public this is what they're going to invest so that the public will then invest and the bubble will go up, and then all those big tech companies are going to treat those people like Enron did and pull the rug out from underneath them, sell out, and take everybody's wealth. That's where the $250 billion is coming from, folks. It's coming from all the stupid people who don't know anything about trends or how to evaluate these opportunities in the slightest. They're going to be enamored and enthralled by the amount of money that we're making, thinking that they can do the same thing, and they're going to throw everything into it. And the big tech companies, that's how they're going to get their $250 billion. They're not investing it in themselves with their own money, because they know it can't give the returns. There's still 2-3 years of technological development that's required at the computer chip level, at the hardware level. That's how much development is still required for AI to even consider taking your place in a meeting. And even at that point, it's going to take time to train AI to do such a thing. But again, that doesn't stop these big tech companies from lying to the public about what they're capable of doing with this technology in the hopes of getting all their money over the next 4 to 6 months. So, where are we going with this? This bubble that we're experiencing is going to coincide with the last little bit of a push from the markets. US 30, Toronto Stock Exchange, Hong Kong's exchange, Tokyo's exchange, the London exchange. All of these exchanges are relying on AI to prop it up, to make it look good. And they're going to coincide the AI pop, the bubble pop of AI, with the crash of the stock markets and take everybody's money and tell them that the money's lost and gone. And now, in order to recoup it all, you're going to need the government to come up with a new currency. That's the objective. So, watching that, knowing that, when we're looking at these charts, we can plan for these trends. So let's go to the crypto 30 here. This is an index of the top 30 cryptos, and we are approaching that all-time high. And isn't it interesting that Bitcoin shot up past that $100,000 mark last night, forming a new all-time high at 104. Beautiful. Remember what I was saying earlier when it was down in here, it had this little retracement? I was saying, you know what, guys, it could very well go up. Oh no, it was here. That's where I made my squiggly line. Monday. That was just earlier this week. Wow, time goes by so fast. So on Monday, I was making this squiggly line here saying, you know what, folks, it could very well go up to 105 to 110. I marked that down. So right now, we're just hovering underneath 105. We'll see what happens. It may very well go as high as 110, but this could also be all we're going to see before this drop. This drop is coming, okay? So be mindful of it, especially if you're coming in right now to the cryptocurrency field. These big coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum especially, they are probably going to see a pullback. And the reason why is because the trend that we're noticing is that people are coming in with Ethereum and Bitcoin because it's most available on their exchanges, and then they're swapping it out, trading it for the altcoins. So ADA, Solana, Injective, SWI, I don't even have some of them up here. You know, XRP, Doge. They're sometimes affectionately called the boomer coins because they were the coins that did really well back in 2017. I was in my 30s in 2017. That's a significant amount of time, and so that's why they're called boomer coins, because it was really just the boomers that were having fun with that long time ago, 8 years ago. So those coins are where people are going to gravitate most next. And that is going to pull that liquidity away from the Bitcoins and the Ethereums. So I think that Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to see some chop. They're going to see some volatility here over the next little while as this trend towards the altcoins comes into play. So, yay, Bitcoin is over 100,000. But again, I think this is just a quick little bull trap. That's what they call these things. When things go up, everybody gets excited. A bunch of people are going to buy. It's going to go up even higher. Everybody's excited right now. So we're going to see a bunch of money come in. People are going to get excited. It's going to pop up to 110. Again, this is my speculation. It's going to pop up to 110, possibly, maybe 106, 107, maybe, who knows. But soon, it's going to pull out from underneath people, and it's going to probably drop 20 to 30%. Okay, now in Bitcoin terms, that's a lot because it's already at 100,000. So for it to drop 20, 30%, we're looking at a $73,000, $74,000 price point to find support. And it would make sense because look at this area right here. This area was providing some resistance, and that just happens to be in the area of 20 to 30% drop. So be mindful as we're going through this that that's going to happen. And Ethereum now finally breaking out above that long-term trend line that we've been watching have resistance here over the last couple weeks. It's been a while since it was actually at that line, definitely, but now we blasted through that fairly easily, only using it as resistance just this last week. So now it's above. It'll likely find support coming off of this before going up, but it also has that capacity to come up maybe up to this next pivot point at 4,070. That might be the point, kind of like the Bitcoin's equivalent of 110, and then have that nice big drop. A 20 to 30% drop here would bring us even as far as the support found at 3,000, right there. That would be that 20 to 30% drop that we would look for to find support before we make the next big jump. So at this time, if you wanted to make some money off of this drop, the trick is to close these positions that you're in right now and move them into assets that are at lows, because right now these are at a high and we can expect a pullback. That pullback, you'll want to come back in when it's lower, because the amount, let's say you sell $1,000 here. Well, that $1,000 after a 20% drop can buy you $1,200 worth of the coin that you would normally have to pay $1,200 for that coin. Now you can take that $1,000 and get $1,200 worth at this point. Does that make sense? That's the strategy. So if you are wanting to maximize your gains and you don't want to see this drop because it's scary, that's okay. I'm not scared by it. I'm standing firm. I'm not selling anything out. I'm going to go ahead and experience that 20 to 30% drop. But I will be buying as it drops because I'm just going to be adding to my bag. Okay? I'm not going to be trading this drop. I'm going to be buying the drop. All right? Now again, that's my strategy. If you want to trade this, now would be the time. Now would be the time to start selling as the price finds that resistance, and then you start buying as it falls down. ADA. It's been also experiencing a little bit of a plateau here. You can see just how fast it rose after the election, but now it's starting to even itself out. That's very indicative of what we're seeing right now throughout the entire ecosystem, especially with coins. that are these boomer coins. Seeing kind of the same thing happen with Solana. Had this great big curve coming right out of the election, and it's starting to even out. Why is that? If there's more money coming in, remember Crypto 30, more money coming in. This is a good representation of the market cap of crypto. So if this is going up, Bitcoin, sure, that went up. Ethereum, yep, sure, that's going up. But how come these aren't? And it's because as soon as the money is coming into the altcoins, it's being diversified into individual projects. Remember, we have layer 1 coins and then layer 2 coins. And the layer 1 coins are basically they are acting as liquidity tokens for the project. You turn your ADA or your Solana or your Ethereum, you turn those into layer 2 coins to appreciate the gains there. So we're seeing, just like the liquidity will leave Bitcoin to go into the altcoins probably in the next week or two, Bitcoin, Ethereum are likely to drop because that money is going into other pools. That's what we're going to see occur. Now, again, altcoins, they'll probably see a little bit of a drop due to that diversification. But it will also be combated by the influx of people coming in. And so I think we're going to see some chop. It's going to go up and down over the next week or so. And that's going to present opportunities because whenever there's volatility, whenever it's going up and down, there are opportunities to buy and sell. So right now, with the way Cardano is, it's sitting at $1.21 US at the moment. In fact, $1.21 even. Look at that. Look at all those zeros. Oh, it just moved. So this drop, if it goes down 20, 30%, it's only going to come down to about here. This is not very far. That's a 30% drop coming back to 84 cents. That's a good spot. That's a good spot to buy again. So be mindful that if you were to buy now, if you were to buy ADA, that drop may occur. And so what I would recommend is that if you do buy ADA, instead of experiencing the drop, do the same thing that the smart money is doing. Use the ADA to go into the layer 2 coins. And some of the ones that I would recommend actually, or there's 3 that I can recommend. One of them is, let's go look it up. Hosky. This is the Hosky token. This is a meme coin that was inspired by the founder of Cardano, not rather by the values that are portrayed by the founder. This token here was actually started by the Cardano community at large, and Charles Hoskinson, the founder of Cardano, every once in a while he tweets about it because it's cute. But this coin right now, look at that. 7 zeros and then a 2. So fractions and fractions and fractions of a penny. But over the last little while, look at that. It went from fractions and fractions and fractions of a penny, specifically 8 zeros, to 6 zeros. That's a huge increase. In fact, I think I remember correctly. I don't know, I can't measure the distance here, so I'm going to go to the chart here and we can pull it up. Hosky. So this meme coin is one of the layer 2 opportunities that you may put into your from ADA going into this. And here's why. Just in the last little bit since the election, this has gone up 25x. Even though it takes 6 zeros to start some decimal points, it's still 23 times higher than it was before. Okay, so this is the type of thing that we're going to see occur a lot. And so this layer 2 coin on Cardano, I believe, will do very well because this meme is for the founder, is in honor of the founder. That's one. What's another one? Singularity. Singularity Net. This one here. This one I also believe is a good layer 2 coin on Cardano. I like Singularity Net, the founders of Singularity. I think it's singularity.net. Yeah, singularitynet.io actually. This particular project is built on the back of Cardano, but the founder has been in AI development since the 80s. This guy's not going anywhere anytime soon. And the organization that he's created, this DAO that he's made, has ended up bringing forward an entire army. There's the gentleman there. Really down to earth guy. You can tell he doesn't he's not the suit and tie type of guy at all. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for people who are authentic in this space, because those are the people who are not here for the bubble. They are here for longevity. I'm here for the bubble. These guys are here for longevity. And on a layer 2 coin for Cardano, this is a fantastic opportunity. So that coin there, you can see, I'm going to go to the all time. Singularity Net also, again, because of their work, has garnered the attention of other protocols. We got Fetch AI. That's one of our accounts, or one of the charts that we analyze on TradingView. Ocean Protocol, another good one. They have collaborated to create the Superintelligence Alliance. So they're working together hand in hand to see this ecosystem of AIs, and they're called AI agents, that are going to end up doing a lot of the labor that we have on computers. Now, again, this is still in development. Don't think that this technology is ready to go. These people are ready for the next phase of development, and the bubble will help fund that project for them. So, Singularity Net, great example. If you would like to take your ADA when you buy it, get some Singularity Net tokens, because that's the layer 2 that will experience the next big climb, the next big bubble. And we can even see here that in all time, even when it first got started, this was at $1.50. At $1.50. It dropped down as low as 3 cents there. I see 1 cent, 1.1 cent here. So it's already gone up from 1 cent back in 2020. It's up now 79. It was peaked out here this year. It peaked out as more money was coming into AI earlier this year. It's dropped since then. That's normal. But this here, this will be likely dwarfed. This will look like a little anthill compared to a mountain here soon. Okay, so that's a good layer 2 coin that you can get into with your ADA before it drops. As it drops though, I'll be buying. Don't you worry, I'll be buying. Solana, this one here, that's an asset that seems to be kind of petering out at the moment. But I believe that what we're going to see is another big influx coming in, especially in the next week or two. We're going to see more volatility. What I would do in cases like this, Solana is really being built. Solana is really, majority of the liquidity in Solana is being diverted into meme coins. Not that that's bad, just recognize that that is a much higher risk. Okay, I think Solana will do well. I think it will probably go over $500, so that's a 2x from where we are right now. But the majority of that money is still going to be used in the memes to make that 20x, 30x, 50x that we keep seeing with other memes. So right now, I would say that what the best strategy would be to set alerts on the price for Solana. So if it goes down to another resistance or to another pivot point, you want to be notified so that you can make a purchase. So as it goes down, and let's say it drops 20-30%, where does that lead us? Well, here's 20%. 25% is at this resistance right here. So this pivot point right here. So you would set your price alert to 185, maybe 190. So that you catch it at the 20% mark. You might even start buying if it goes like here, right? If it ends up dropping below this support here, you can be pretty confident it's going to go down to here. And if it gets to here, you could start buying and dollar cost average your way down to this point. That would maximize your returns for the next pump up. Injective token. This one here is actually an anomaly amongst all the altcoins, and I think it's because of the commitment that this particular project has to the interoperability between all of these coins, so that we don't have to use exchanges to make transactions. Especially if someone like myself, I like Cardano, but other people might like Tron. Well, they can pay me in Tron. That's what the injective token, that ecosystem here, is all about. Helping it so that people who have Tron can pay people who want to receive ADA without using an exchange. Powerful. So that's why I believe we're seeing an increasingly steady climb here, that we're not seeing it peter out nearly as much as we saw the other coins, simply because of that longevity and that vision that they have for this bubble. Modic, or Polygon, I should say. You want to make sure that if you did purchase Modic, that you actually switch it over to Polygon. I know that sounds weird, but there were two listings. Well, there still are. There are two listings. Now they're locked in price, so you don't have to worry. If you got this, you're not missing out on the opportunity. But just recognize that eventually this will likely be deprecated, and it'll be it'll be Polygon. And so I've been charting with it. I'm keeping it because it helps me keep track of my numbers. But if you are calling up Polygon, make sure that you are not. So Polygon, let's go like this. There's Paul, POL. That's the official one. It used to be Modic. The upgrade from Modic to Pol has been initiated on Ethereum's mainnet. For more information, you can click those links there. But that now, instead of Modic, it's POL. They've just changed it. That's a good move. It's a good move from a marketing perspective, because there was no other location where the word Modic was used, and so that's why they've changed it to POL. So if you have Modic, you can swap it for POL, and the fees are like, I saw they're like a penny. So it's not much of an exchange to swap out your Modic for Pol. Again, you don't have to. The price stays the same, but now that confusion is something that needs to be clarified. Next, 3 protocol, still hanging out down at these lows, but at the higher end of this range. This asset here, we've been talking about how much it likes to whiplash, and it's still doing it. Every time it whiplashes, though, it comes back to that average. So if you see it drop down real far, you might grab some and ride it back up for a quick, that's a quick 20%. That's nice. However, we're also seeing more and more application of these projects. So they're coming into utility phase. And as they approach that utility phase, more and more money is going to be coming in. After utility phase, it'll take off. My target on this particular asset for my own trades would be, I'm not carrying any 3 protocol right now, but my first target would be that 45 cents, which was the previous all-time high. And what I would do is I would evaluate then. I would make a trade and probably sell half of it out after it makes this 400%, because that's what we're looking at. This is a good layer 2, 400%, nice and quick. Evaluate what you want to do at that point, depending on the project, depending on its stability. Take a look at its market saturation, all that good stuff, to determine whether or not you want to keep riding it. But that is a good move. Make a quick 400%, trade out half of it, and put that half into something that's going to grow in the next phase, probably gaming. WooCommerce, my gosh, Woo, breaking out there. We talked about that last time we looked at this chart. It's doing very well, continuing its movement up to that all-time high. I would expect anything under $1 to be on sale for this project. In fact, $5 is my target right now, and I'm going to be. I'll talk about that maybe later. But I'm building another resource for people who are trading with me. I'm building a spreadsheet so that people can keep track of all their trades and basically creating a trade journal and automated with automations and formulas and stuff like that to show you what your percentages are without having to go and get a calculator. So that resource will be available here probably today or tomorrow, and we
Woohoo!
can, yeah,
I've been writing
that'll be
it
awesome.
down, so that would be awesome.
Yes. Oh yeah, this will be super helpful. Yeah. BitTensor, yeah, look at that. Creating a new high, obviously not meeting the all-time high, but this is a good sign. We've been seeing it bounce inside this great big long pivot, this wide pivot range for a long time. I'm going to go out to the daily chart so you can just see where it's been. This huge zone was of most interest over the last few months. And we even dipped down, formed a little bit of a downward trend there. Oh, let me just. So we formed a little bit of a downward trend, broke out, and now we're reaching for that all-time high. When this breaks over the all-time high, I think it will coincide with when Ethereum and Bitcoin make another big move. Probably more so Ethereum because this is based off of the Ethereum network. So with Ethereum, when this reaches that all-time high, which is up here, when it reaches that, I think we're going to see the explosion of things like BitTensor. And the reason why is because BitTensor is a project that is providing computing, power, processing, infrastructure for big tech companies who are utilizing AI in their scripts. Did you know that right now, 25% of Google's code is being written by AI? 25%. Largely due to projects like BitTensor. So this project here is slated to reach $5,000 in this bull run. So right now at 685, that's a nice return. Like, that's a pretty nice return. Let's just bring it up here. Up to 5,000. Yeah, there we go. That's a 725% return. Not too shabby. Here's Fetch. This is the and now it is kind of confusing. It's kind of like that Modic Polygon type thing, but Fetch is actually that. There it is. Fetch is actually Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, and so looking at this one, we can see we've got that market cap 4.72, good saturation, and of course when we look at the chart, we can see over that long term on that daily chart, we're coming up against some resistance here. This has provided some support in the past, and this has now provided a good support from this line here. Look at how much price action accumulated at this price point. That means that we're likely finding support here and going to be pushing up this all-time high. My target on Fetch is actually $10. So that's where I'll be evaluating my position within this asset. I don't think I marked it, did I? No, I did not. I better mark this one. Yeah. That'll be nice. Desync. After hitting that all-time high a couple days ago, a little bit of a retracement, finding some support around the 43-cent mark. Again, Desync is going to be it is the largest bag that I'm holding. In fact, I think it's, I'd have to look at it. I'd have to look at the percentages, and that's what the spreadsheet's going to help out with. We can just glance at that and look at it. But that right now, this is the largest bag that I'm holding. My target price on this is $10. So right now at 44 cents, that's a nice 20x, right? Oh yeah, $10. $10. That's my target. So at that point, I will definitely be selling at least half, maybe even more, and converting this into real world assets such as gold and silver. 0 by 0, also showing good strength, creating new highs. You know, again, we're not at that all-time high yet, and that's okay. We're still at the bottom of this bubble, baby. So this movement here over the last little while has been nice. In fact, with 0 by 0, my average price is down in this area. Is it? Yeah, that's actually, yeah, that's right. I think this is probably my average. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab from here. This is my average price right now. Things are going well at 176%-ish. Again, that spreadsheet's going to give us more accurate data. I'm just doing a quick guesstimation here. 0 by 0 is a fantastic private, focusing on privacy. This project is going to be supplying blockchain secured data. So using blockchain as a protocol to release the data, to show it, to have someone else watch, to look at it. That level of privacy is very attractive to a lot of people who are going into AI, and 0 by 0 is one of the leaders in creating in creating their own type of protocol to privatize that data. Arc is a fascinating little asset to me. You know what? Let's take a look at it from CoinMarketCap. That market cap is pretty small. It's only 53 million, but look how well it is. It's only 7 million short of the fully dilated volume. That's great. Or diluted volume rather. So this is a good saturated market. It's a very strong asset. It's behaving very well. If we take a look at overall, let's go to the weekly chart here so we can see. Look at how when it pumped up from this 3/10,000ths of a dollar. So that's 3/100ths of a cent. That's crazy where it started. It pumped right away. That's awesome. 77x retraced, and then it continued to go up to 355x. But its retracement afterwards, it didn't drop 90% of its value. Oh, actually, it almost did. There it is. Yeah, 90% of its value. However, again, that's because of the logarithmic scale here that I got. But this didn't drop back to nothing. Okay, when we take a look at something like what was the one example that I saw the other day? Was it DEAI? Yeah, look at this. DEAI. Now this is a weekly chart, but we go to 2, we can see that right after it opened, goes up and it goes down below where it started. Now that doesn't automatically mean it's a bad asset. That's just that's not a good sign. This has recovered well and looks like it's going to create some more highs. Likely because we're in the AI bubble that this is doing that. But this massive drop coming back down and dropping below, that's not a good sign. Whereas with ARK, how beautiful this is that it sure came out and then lost a bunch of value, but it didn't go below the opening. It didn't go below the opening. So this asset right now, we can see it actually didn't break out above. That energy buildup that we saw with this pennant pattern, it ended up turning into a consolidation zone like this. You can see where that support and that resistance are now starting to really take effect. And I can even get rid of these because that can happen where the pennant, instead of the energy building up and then getting smaller and smaller and then breaking out in one direction or the other, this particular asset is now transferred into a consolidation zone. So up and down and up and down, up and down. Likely to see more of this over the rest of this week, but I think next week we're going to see ARK take a big jump towards that all-time high. What is that? What is that all-time high? All-time high is at 14 cents. Right now it's at 6 cents, so you could make a quick double, quick 200% coming up to here. However, my target price on this is $1. Okay, so if we take that, we got to scroll up a little bit. I'm going to extend this up to $1, just below 99 cents. And I've got a couple positions here, so I'm going to move them both. Got 2 positions. Where's the other one? Right there. Okay, so there we have it. This, from where I purchased, is a 31x. From where we are right now, a dollar is still 16x, 15x. I'm telling you, we're at the bottom of this thing still. All right, Link. I don't have anything bought in this right now. I might be actually taking it off of my watch list, not because I think it's bad, but because I've just got so much leverage right now in enough projects. I don't want to spread myself much thinner. I will be watching this carefully after it crosses this line to see what kind of a gain we may witness yet before making another purchase. Again, I got so much ARC, 0x0, desync, fetch. I put the world token. Like I'm good. I'm good. I don't need another one. If anybody has Link, let me know. I'll keep it in the watch list so that we can analyze it. But if over the next week I don't hear about it, I'll probably just take it off the watch list. Again, doesn't make it bad. Could still be awesome. I got a lot of leverage in AI right now. DEAI, this one here, same thing. I don't have this asset, but I am watching it, and I find this one fascinating. Even though it dropped down below that open point, it found some good support and has been moving nicely since, creating new highs. This low here, this triple low at the bottom range of this consolidation zone, that's a positive sign. It means that the support held even when it dipped down a little bit harder. Right on this one, it dipped down just a little bit further than the other ones, but it didn't stay there and created a new high right after that. So these highs getting higher, that is the trend that we're following. WorldCoin. This one here is becoming one of my favorites, just because I'm learning more about the project and what it's capable of. As we can see, big, huge spike coming out of the gate. It did drop 80% of its value, finding a new support, but ever since then, it hasn't gone below that. So September 2023 is that low that it's been building support ever since. We had that drop after the March 2024. It dropped again, but it didn't go nearly as far as it did the time before. And so after that, we see nothing but new highs and new lows going up and up and up and up. This trend line here, we can see that this pennant has now been broken out, likely finding support on the top end here at the $2.88 level. My target on World, I don't know that I actually have something set higher than the all-time high because it's already 4x away from here. This is a big infrastructure coin for gaming and AI, and we don't want, this is more interoperability, similar to Injective token. And I definitely don't want to speculate too much more than $12 at this time. Once we get here, we'll see what timing it is. If this happens over the next month or so, I'll probably just go ahead and close this out and switch it out for something that's going to bubble next, gaming. But if this happens here before Christmas, I'll probably sell out half and continue riding this up to see how much longer it goes. That AI bubble, I think we're going to see that AI bubble continue into January and feed the next set of bubbles going forward before the crash. PAL, ooh yeah, remember this one? How it dropped out, that PR, that PR stunt that they did. Stunt, I shouldn't say it that way. It wasn't that way at all. They simply made a blunder. Bunch of people got upset. Price dropped. But that's when, of course, what is the saying? When's the best time to buy a house? When there's blood in the streets. Kind of the same thing happened here. This day was a doomsday event for this asset, and a lot of people panicked. But that is when I went ahead and bought. Boy, am I ever glad that I did, because I was just looking at this one yesterday as I was building that spreadsheet that I was telling you about. Look at this. I said, I put this on my Telegram. I said, when it drops down, I'm buying, because if it comes back up again, that's going to be a nice quick double my money. It's back up now 153% from where I bought. 153% just in a matter of 24 days. Thank you. I'll do that again many times. FAR, another good asset that has been performing well. Obviously, not with the same level of volatility that we've seen other projects like, ARC, 0x0, Desync. Not nearly as much growth, but still very encouraging. In fact, from the purchase point that I made on October 12th, it's up 48%. This is a gaming coin though, so it's going to be a little bit more delayed. This is the type of asset that is a longer play, taking us back up to all-time highs. And my strategy here is to watch it and sell it as it goes up, but my target on this asset is $1. And $1 is way above the all-time high. Okay, so what does that turn into? This particular asset, if it goes up to $1, it will be 108x on the purchase that I made here. 108x. And just think, when I show you my spreadsheet, you'll get to see how much money I have. Next, but that'll be for private members only. Don't share my numbers. Here we go. Next, Gala. This is another AI gaming coin. This infrastructure, I feel, well, let's go take a look at which one's bigger. Is it FAR or Gala? Farcana is 14 million with a 66 million fully diluted volume. Dilated. What are we having, babies or something? And then we've got, and then the other one was, Farcana and Gala. So Gala is a much bigger project at 2.2 billion. So it will likely see more stability as we go through this. The other one with FAR is going to be a little bit higher risk. Gala, less risk, but it might not do the 100x. That's the difference. Simply because it already has quite a good history. It goes back a little bit farther than FAR does. This is the weekly chart going back into 2021. It peaked out right here in November 2021, and that was at 87 cents, and has fallen obviously even below the open. But with the amount of market cap that's available and the fact that it's actually not, it gets super saturated. We've got, if we go back to FAR, it doesn't have the same stability because of how many more times that diluted volume is. So it's not as saturated. Now, again, still a good project. Lots of positive news going on with it. And if you get involved with their community, it's very, very vibrant. So that's why I'm bullish on it. Don't think that just because it's a smaller market cap that it doesn't have a hope of competing with somebody like Gala, which is a lot bigger. Lot bigger. As in, like 100, almost 100, more than 100 times bigger of a project. The growth here, it's kind of like that smaller cap coin actually has more potential to grow. It all boils down to what the timing is. So with Gala, very good timing for us to come back to that all-time high, especially with all of that liquidity that's in the project. I will be reevaluating at that point, but likely we will see this movement because it's a newer project, and this was back in the day when AI was just, it was just the coolest thing ever. Oh, look at what ChatGPT can do. You can upload an entire document of files of a patient and it can diagnose them for doctors. That's the kind of exploration that was happening at that time, and it was mind-blowing. And so there was that big influx. But since that time, these companies have been continuing to develop and preparing for today. And especially in gaming, it's going to be wild, folks, honestly. It's going to be wild. Next, we got IMX. I don't have any asset. I don't have any allocation to this, but we do see that this consolidation is getting smaller for sure. I mean, look at how much more accelerated these highs or these lows are right now. They're not even coming down to test this. So this one here, probably, I'm going to say probably, let's go look at this to see what we're at for this. Okay, yeah, so this is another fairly large market cap coin. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember this. I'm not in it because Again, I got so much. It's in a really good spot though. As you can see, it's actually just above that low price. So this would actually be a good one for me to add as time goes in. I'm going to earmark this one, and probably in my next deposit that I make in this bubble, I'm going to get myself some IMX. Look at this. It's not even up to this high that was in March. So this one here is kind of a sleeper. Huge project, enough market cap, but it's a sleeper still, because this one here is going to be used for this one here is going to be used for projects coming into January, February. So this one's a good one to catch. Super. Wait a second. Something's wrong. IMX. Yeah. Why does it look like... Oh, right. The reason why this chart doesn't look the same as what we see, the impression that we get from this chart, is because this is linear. Mine, the one that I have, if we were to make this a logarithmic scale, we would see that same pennant pattern drawing from up there to here. Because IMX, yeah, this is the weekly chart, so it looks a lot different. If I go to the daily, why does this look so much different? This is the daily chart here, and this is the, yeah. Why does that look so much different? Isn't that interesting? I'm wondering if maybe, let's take a look at this again. Oh, that's why. That's why. This chart doesn't go back far enough. The trading view doesn't have the data prior to. This is where that dinosaur is on trading view. That lets you know that there is probably more data, but they don't have it. It's old data. So that's what that is why, you know, it's nice to look at CoinMarketCap, because you can actually click all right there, and that gives you the full time of price that it has been. And CoinMarketCap has more data on these than TradingView does, because TradingView is relying on other exchanges. Like, for instance, look at this. You know, it's relying on Binance. You can see up here. So it's relying on Binance to provide that data. Well, Binance probably didn't even list it until here. That's why we don't see the price action beforehand. But back to it, we can see, yep, that's exactly what it is. We're seeing the start of the data here. That's why we see this. That's why we see that pattern. Okay, good to know. Super. Moving on. I got 7 minutes here before I want to be done. Super. This position is doing really well. I just grabbed this one here a couple weeks, 17 days ago, up 43%. This is another gaming coin. This is a gaming community. This particular community has got developers and gamers alike. And what they're doing is that they're creating an ecosystem of games where people can actually trade their in-game currencies back and forth between the games. And so now we basically have crossing borders, no tariffs on the crossing borders of these assets between the games. And as people are investing their lives into these video games and making their money, amazing. Like, what a time to be alive that you can make money playing video games, for crying out loud. What a world of abundance we have. As people are doing this, they are creating an ecosystem for the marketing for these games. So a lot of games are coming into the Superverse because they want to make sure that they're getting good exposure and good marketing on their projects. Well, this is becoming kind of like, you know how I was talking about layer 1 and then layer 2? Well, this is a layer 2 coin, but it's giving access to what would be considered layer 3, the gaming coins that are within this ecosystem. And so the growth that we experience in Superverse, I believe, will be that 50 to 100x, because we haven't even seen the start of this bubble yet. The gaming bubble hasn't happened. All of this price action is just us all having fun. Okay, the bubble hasn't happened yet on gaming. And so here, because of the projects that are coming forward, because of the commitment that this community has to each other, there's nobody in charge, by the way. There's actually no owner of Superverse. It is a decentralized, autonomous organization run by the community. So similar to the work that I've been teaching, teaching communities how to create their own self-governance. This company's been doing it a lot longer. Well, this is back in March 2021 is what the data that we have here. So in March, this is where it just started getting listed. So this here is this community does what I've been teaching communities to do outside of the digital realm. We want to see this kind of thing occur at the community level. And so the model that they're using is the model of business that is being used for the future. And imagine that happening in video games. This is going to blow up. I truly believe, because the gaming bubble hasn't happened yet, not even started. It's just getting ready. As we can see, this price is actually getting close to the all-time highs. Once we break over top of that all-time high, there's no telling how far this will go. But my bet is that from where we are right now, this will 20x. So, and then the coins inside here, right? So this coming up to this, yeah, this will be easily. I think it'll be $50, no problem. So this movement, during that time, there will also be coins within this ecosystem. The individual gaming coins within this system are also going to 50x. When I talked about getting a big, huge, you want to have a great big 50x return, the trick is to find a community that does 50x patterns, not that one coin. I got to find out one coin to get me that 50. No, you diversify and you find the 50s by being a part of a community of coins that are building. Next, let's get into these memes. Sundog, yay! Coming back to test the support that I thought maybe I should sell. Anyway, this one was fun. This is just $100 I threw in here for fun because I don't really know much about memes. Just wanted to test it out, see what's going to happen. This one, Sundog, is actually, even though it doesn't have that great of a performance history, Sundog is actually one of the top assets within this is Tron, within the Tron ecosystem. And so yeah, it's one of the top ones in that system, and they're doing very well. In fact, if we pull up Tron, yeah, look at how Tron has worked over the last little while. And this was a while after the election yet. We saw some movement there right after the election, right in here, right? Came up a little bit more, but then the last little while, whoosh, big time move, and it's because of the meme culture. And Tron has got a lot of memes on it. So we saw that big, huge draw. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, this is more accurate. Yeah, what we were seeing was was an index. I apologize. Similar price pattern, but now an actual price point. So sitting at 32 cents right now, peaked out at 44, coming up from before the election at 16. So that is a 177% increase over the last little while because of memes. And that hasn't even started yet. Bonk, same thing. It's another meme. This one here is on the Solana network, one of the top ones in Solana, in fact. And then NPC. This one here has been actually behaving a little bit differently. After having this, oh no, it's okay still. We haven't formed a low lower than this. This triple bottom here, remember the triple bottom? Always powerful. Up, found this resistance, same resistance as here, just a big test. Came above, shot above, and now it's finding support on the other side. So the next big movement up, you know what? We can actually give us, I'm going to go ahead and make a little plan here. So from the movement, this low here, going up to this high, that gives us a retracement, right? Ooh, leave it there. That retracement now is definitely into that 28 range. So this is a far deep retracement. What does that mean for the top side? It means that we're likely going to see the next resistance at just under $1. So between where we are right, or no, sorry, just under 10 cents, not $1, just under 10 cents. So where we are right now, that's a nice growth. Because right now it sits at 3.4 cents, 10 cents could be a 200% growth. Memes, I'm going to be crawling up these because, again, I don't know as much about these things. I'm learning stuff about them. It's a trend, but I don't have much faith in them because they're just a trend. It would be like investing in Dogecoin. It wasn't a bad idea buying Dogecoin before Elon made his announcement that he was going to buy Dogecoin, even though he had already bought it and just said it to make it look like he was going to get people to buy so that the price would go up and he could make money. Nothing wrong with that, but it's pretty volatile. Too risky in my mind. So that's why I just play with it a little bit. But the NPC coin is probably I think it's one of the top market cap memes out there. NPC. Yep, 255. Let's see what Pepe is. Pepe is a lot bigger. Yeah, Pepe is a lot bigger with 9.26. Look at that. Fully saturated in everything. I keep hearing about this one. I haven't gone into it. Again, I don't know enough about it, but look at what it's done. Look at what it's done. I see this and I think to myself, oh, all in the meme thing, that's kind of done now. Like, who wants more than this? I mean, yeah, people want more than that. I get that. But aren't we now ready for this AI gaming thing here? I don't know. There's mixed thoughts. That's why I have a hard time really settling into memes, because it's like, on the one hand, I can see how awesome this is. And it would be fun, if you've got $1,000, spread that across 10 different memes and just see what happens. If you got that kind of money to play, for me, I would like a more sure thing. If I'm putting in $1,000, I would like a more sure thing. And so that's why I don't gravitate so much towards these ones. But yeah, Pepe, huge, and people talk about it all the time. There you have it. That's market analysis for today. Folks, tomorrow I'm going to be, for market analysis, I'm actually going to go through my lists. As I've been working in CoinMarketCap more and more, I've been working on creating lists. Now, this one here was just my first one. I just threw a whole bunch in there that I knew I'd be wanting to watch, but I'm starting to organize them in categories. So I'm going to go through the trends that we're going to see in this bubble. I'm going to be going through them one by one. As you can see, I'm going to just move myself over, because that's one thing about CoinMarketCap is that I can't just point at it, especially because it's way over there. So I got to go like this. I want to show you more about AI. So I've got an AI list. I've got a gaming list. I've got a memes list. I've got real world asset list. I also have an infrastructure list. And inside here, I've got a bunch of assets that I'm watching, and I will be entering as those dips occur. So tomorrow we're going to go over these individually, and a lot of these are new. A lot of these I don't have, but I've done some research on them. They look to me like good opportunities. I'd like to pass that along. So tomorrow, for market analysis, if you've got some friends that want to learn about this will be a great overview. It might be a little bit of a fire hose for some people, but it will be a good overview of the opportunities that are yet to experience the growth that we've already experienced over the last couple months. Some of us are up 200, 250%. Audrey, you were saying yesterday, I'm not gonna say numbers, but you have done more than 200%. You're actually up closer to 300%, are you not?
Yeah. Put in 25. Up to about 7.
Okay.
Almost 8
perfect. Now. Yeah. So there you go. You're definitely doing it. So up 300%. Thank you very much, Audrey. That growth is something a lot of the assets that I'll be sharing tomorrow haven't seen yet. So if you've been feeling like watching Audrey and me make all this money over the last couple of months, if you're starting to feel like, oh, it's too late for me to get started, that's not the case. This wave is going to be happening in phases. And right now we're still early on. The AI phase hasn't occurred. All the growth that we've seen is just it getting ready for the explosion here in the next 30 days or so. So you're not too late, and I want to share with you some of the opportunities that are coming forward in other trends coming in the coming weeks. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. You can also book my time at manknownaspol.com/connect, and we can visit for a while and just create a plan for you. This isn't so much, I like the bubble because it's nice, it's exciting. There's something that goes on inside your blood when you can feel the victory of a good win, and there are some fantastic wins to be had. But I do more than just this. My focus and my purpose for being here is to help the small business set themselves up properly for this great reset so that they can keep everything that they earn, that they can maintain the property rights that they have over the top of their assets, and ensure that the government doesn't take a single cent from it in taxes. And so the work that we're doing over this next 2-3 years, especially for the next generation of merchants, is to, yes, we want to build some capital, we want to find the opportunities, but more importantly, we want to position ourselves for the next trend. And I know what those trends are. I've been following these trends since 2008. In fact, it was in 2008 when I saw the iPhone come out. I was like, websites are going to need to be built differently. Nobody else that I knew of at the time was talking like that. And sure enough, it was 2010 when the term responsive design for websites came out. I was already building responsive websites before it was even a term. So these trends that I observed, same thing with SMS text marketing. Back in 2010, 2011, I was the first one in Western Canada, one of the first people in Western Canada to have the license to do text marketing, along with, to have texts be delivered for my customers, for the 10% off Tuesdays at the local sandwich shop, or restaurants that were wanting to do reservations. I was doing it before the businesses even wanted to do it. The trends that have that are occurring today, they're happening a lot faster. So my prediction isn't happening 4 years in advance. Now it's usually only happening about 1 or 2. And as these trends occur, I want to be there to help you identify them, but then position yourself properly so that as we're making all these gains here, that you don't crash on the other side of the bubble. I want to help you have an exit strategy that lets you come in at the next in the next flow of the next rise. And I believe that's going to be gold and silver. So thank you so much. Connect with me there, and we'll see you tomorrow for market analysis.